Speech title: 5 Things an Intelligent Woman Never Says. Speech. My dear friend, intelligence in a woman is not always shown in what she knows. It is revealed in what she refuses to say, in the quiet strength that guards her lips, and in the wisdom that preserves her dignity. There is a beauty beyond the mirror, and it's found in the restraint of a woman who understands her value. She doesn't need to say everything. She knows when silence speaks more truth than words ever could. Today, let us reflect together, not as those looking to impress, but as women who desire to grow in strength and poise. Here are 5 things a truly intelligent woman never says. Key point 1: I'm just not good enough. An intelligent woman doesn't make declarations that deny her divine design. She might feel inadequate at times, but she never settles into that feeling as truth. She may whisper prayers in her weakness, but she does not broadcast defeat. Key point 2: I don't need anyone. Wisdom knows the difference between independence and isolation. She doesn't carry pride as a badge of honor. She understands that connection is strength, and vulnerability, when sacred, is not weakness but power. Key point 3: Other women are just jealous of me. A woman of depth never fuels competition with comparison. She does not reduce the struggles of others into envy. She lifts, she empowers, and she walks in enough confidence to not crave validation. Key point 4: That's just how I am. Take it or leave it. Growth is the language of wisdom. A woman of true intelligence does not hide behind attitude. She knows that change is not betrayal, it's maturity. She isn't afraid to confront herself gently and rise higher. Key point 5: I'd never forgive them. Forgiveness is not weakness, it's the power to heal without needing to be repaid. An intelligent woman knows that bitterness is too costly for her peace. She chooses freedom not for them, but for herself. Key point 1: I'm just not good enough. Expanded in 5 paragraphs. An intelligent woman may feel the weight of self-doubt, but she does not allow it to define her. There are moments, quiet, private moments, when even the strongest women wonder if they are falling short. But she knows those thoughts are visitors, not permanent residents. She does not allow insecurity to build a home in her soul. She acknowledges the emotion, but she doesn't wear it like a crown. She refuses to plant roots in the soil of inadequacy. You see, intelligence isn't simply about intellect, it's about identity. A woman who knows who she is may struggle, but she never surrenders to the lie that she isn't enough. She doesn't say, I'm just not good enough, because those words are seeds that can choke her vision. She knows that what she repeats begins to shape how she sees herself, and she is very careful with her self-talk because she understands what she speaks in the valley echoes in the mountaintop. In a world that profits off of insecurity in every ad, every filter, every whisper that says, you need to be more, a wise woman is rebellious in the most sacred way. She does not agree with the narrative that she must hustle for her worth. She silences the inner critic with truth. Her value was never based on performance. It was always based on purpose. And purpose is not earned, it is inborn, it is breathed, it is bestowed. When a situation fails or when someone walks away, she doesn't internalize that as proof of her deficiency. She may cry, she may hurt, but she does not say, this means I'm not enough. Instead, she says, this season is painful, but I am still whole. Because intelligence tells her that rejection is not a reflection of her worth, but sometimes a redirection for her protection. She has learned not to attach her value to temporary people or unpredictable outcomes, and so she disciplines her mouth not just to protect her image, but to protect her spirit. She doesn't declare defeat over herself. She does not curse her own name with careless words. She remembers, heaven never called her not good enough, and if the one who made her never spoke that over her, then she has no business repeating it either. Key point 2: I don't need anyone. expanded in 5 paragraphs. The words "I don't need anyone" may sound strong on the surface, but they often echo from a place of hidden pain. An intelligent woman has learned to distinguish between true independence and self-imposed isolation. She doesn't confuse walls with strength. She doesn't wear aloneness as armor. Life has taught her that the bravest thing she can do is allow others to walk with her, not because she's weak, but because she's wise enough to know that even strength needs support. She knows that needing someone does not mean losing herself. She has tasted the loneliness of doing everything alone, of bearing silent burdens with no one to lean on. And so she has matured into a deeper understanding. We were never created to go through life untouched and unseen. To need others is not to be desperate, it is to be human. To allow love in, to allow help in, is a sacred strength, not a flaw. She has unlearned the lie that needing others makes her vulnerable to disappointment. Yes, there have been moments when trust was broken, when expectations went unmet, when closeness became a wound, but she does not let those experiences define all people. She chooses discernment, not distance. She is careful, but not closed. She keeps her heart soft not because life has been easy, but because she refuses to let bitterness become her bodyguard. The intelligent woman has learned that there is divine purpose in connection. She understands that some doors only open through collaboration, that healing often comes through presence, not performance. She doesn't say, "I don't need anyone," because she's seen what happens when pride isolates the soul. She honors solitude, yes, but not stubborn independence that shuts others out. She's strong enough to say, "I could do it alone, but I don't have to." In her still moments, she thanks God for the people who show up, for the mentors, the friends, the quiet voices of comfort. She no longer pretends to be invincible. Instead, she lives with open hands. She welcomes wisdom, embraces love, and surrounds herself with those who speak life. She does not build a fortress around her heart. She builds a garden, a space for others to walk in, rest, and grow with her. Key point 3: other women are just jealous of me. Expanded in 5 paragraphs, an intelligent woman doesn't waste her breath elevating herself by assuming the downfall of others. She does not say, "Other women are just jealous of me," because she's grown past the need to interpret criticism as competition. She has learned that insecurity often wears the mask of arrogance, and the wise woman refuses to wear either. She discerns her worth not through comparison, but through quiet confidence, rooted in who she is, not in who others are not. That phrase, "they're just jealous," is often a defense, not a declaration. It's a wall built when we feel misunderstood, overlooked, or even attacked. But an intelligent woman no longer feels the need to shield herself with superiority. She's not afraid to be misunderstood because her validation doesn't come from applause or attention. She doesn't project envy onto other women to soothe her own uncertainty. She looks within before she points outward. She knows that her elevation is not a threat to someone else's purpose, and someone else's beauty, brilliance, or success is not a threat to hers. A woman of wisdom doesn't assume jealousy, she assumes everyone is carrying a battle unseen. She doesn't walk into rooms trying to be the only light, she looks for ways to ignite others. She builds tables, not pedestals. And when she sees another woman shining, she celebrates, not competes. The intelligent woman sees through the lies that society has whispered into feminine spaces, lies that say only one can win, only one can lead, only one can shine. She knows better. She doesn't say other women are jealous. She says, "How can I uplift her? How can I honor her journey?" She chooses collaboration over competition, healing over pride, sisterhood over suspicion, because she knows the real flex is unity, not superiority. Even in moments when she's betrayed or judged by another woman, she does not weaponize those wounds to paint all women the same. She doesn't generalize pain into poison. She has the maturity to bless and release without labeling and resenting, because deep down she knows a secure woman doesn't diminish others to protect her own light. She shines quietly, confidently, and generously, knowing the sun loses nothing by lighting the earth. Key point 4, that's just how I am, take it or leave it, expanded in 5 paragraphs. An intelligent woman does not hide her flaws behind stubbornness. She understands that growth is not a betrayal of identity, it is the fulfillment of it. When someone says, "That's just how I am, take it or leave it," it often comes from a place of self-protection, not strength. But she knows better. She doesn't use personality as a shield to avoid accountability. Instead, she embraces refinement because she understands love without transformation is not maturity, it is stagnation. True strength is not in resisting change, but in welcoming it when it's time to evolve. The intelligent woman does not see correction as criticism, but as a divine invitation to grow. She doesn't confuse authenticity with immovability. She is rooted in who she is, but never rigid. She has learned that personal growth is not about being less of herself, it's about becoming more whole. She asks herself regularly, does this version of me serve the woman I'm becoming? She walks in grace but also in responsibility. She doesn't excuse harmful patterns by blaming her past or her personality. She no longer says, "That's just how I talk," when her words wound. She doesn't say, "I've always been like this," when her attitude isolates others. Instead, she allows God to chisel her piece by piece, gently, faithfully. She is not afraid of being shaped. She knows that humility is not weakness. It is wisdom dressed in quiet power. There was a time when pride made her hold tightly to her flaws like a badge of defiance. But now, she's done performing for people who mistake sharpness for strength. The intelligent woman is no longer impressed by resistance. She is impressed by the quiet courage it takes to apologize, to unlearn, to be teachable, to evolve. She's not afraid of being wrong. She's only afraid of staying unchanged when growth was possible. When people encounter her, they don't feel controlled or pushed away by her stubbornness. They feel invited into an atmosphere of growth. She doesn't say, "Take me or leave me," like a dare. She says, "Walk with me, I'm becoming better every day," because she understands this truth deeply. Being real is good, but being renewed is greater. And no one who walks with wisdom ever stays the same. Key point 5, I'd never forgive them, expanded in 5 paragraphs. An intelligent woman may know pain intimately, betrayal, dishonor, even deep injustice. But what she refuses to do is chain herself to that pain by declaring, "I'd never forgive them." Those words, though often spoken from hurt, are a form of quiet bondage. She has learned that forgiveness is not about excusing the wrong, but about reclaiming her freedom from it. She doesn't carry venom in her veins while hoping for peace in her soul. She understands that unforgiveness does not protect her, it imprisons her. Bitterness is a thief disguised as strength, and while the world might praise the toughness of never forgiving, she's grown wise enough to know that peace is not found in holding on to the offense, it's found in releasing it, even if the other person never apologizes. She does not forgive because they deserve it. She forgives because her heart deserves to heal. There were days early in her journey when unforgiveness felt like power, like a shield keeping her from ever being hurt again. But now she recognizes it as a weight that was never hers to carry. The intelligent woman has learned to forgive not once, but again and again because she values her peace more than her pride. She understands that no matter what someone did, they should not have the power to steal her joy forever. And forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciliation. It doesn't mean pretending like it didn't happen. It doesn't mean allowing continued access to someone who broke trust, but it does mean cutting the invisible cord that keeps her soul tied to the offense. She doesn't allow her future to be infected by past poison. She opens the door, not so they can walk back in, but so she can walk forward, lighter and freer than before. A woman of wisdom guards her heart not by hardening it, but by healing it. And forgiveness is part of that healing. When she whispers, "I release this," it isn't weakness, it is spiritual warfare. It is reclaiming what pain tried to steal, her clarity, her softness, her joy. And so, she no longer says, "I'll never forgive them." Instead, she says, "They no longer hold power over my spirit." And with that release, she rises, ending of the speech, "My dear sister." There is something sacred about a woman who guards her words, not because she is afraid, but because she is wise. The world will always try to define you, provoke you, even shape you through its noise. But an intelligent woman, she doesn't echo the world, she reflects the whisper of heaven. She doesn't say, "I'm not good enough," because she knows she was created with intention. She doesn't say, "I don't need anyone," because she understands we are stronger when we walk together. She doesn't say, "Other women are jealous of me," because she is secure in her own light and delights in the light of others. She doesn't say, "That's just how I am," because she's brave enough to grow. And she doesn't say, "I'll never forgive them," because her peace matters more than her pain. And if you forget every word I've spoken, remember this: a truly intelligent woman is not loud with her wisdom, but she is unshakable in her spirit. She is not defined by what she says, but by what she refuses to say. Walk in that wisdom, speak from that strength, and let your silence be filled with heaven's understanding.